So you've probably heard the news. Amazon is cutting thousands of corporate jobs. But this isn't just another headline about downsizing. This is something bigger. It's a massive strategic pivot. And the driving force behind it? It's a technology that is, well, fundamentally reshaping our world. So let's really dig into what this means for Amazon. And hey, maybe for all of us.
14,000. That's the number. That's how many corporate roles Amazon is getting rid of this year. I mean, that's a number that really makes you stop and think, right? What's really going on here?
Okay, so that number is absolutely huge. But let's put it into perspective for a second. It works out to about 4% of their, 350,000 corporate employees. So you can see this isn't some random across-the-board cut. No, this is a very specific, very strategic move.
All right, so the big question is, why? And why now? What's the official story they're telling us? Well, it all seems to point to a really powerful new vision for where the company is headed. So Amazon's Senior VP of People Experience, Beth Galetti, she laid it out pretty clearly. The goal, she said, is to be more leanly organized. And this, it fits perfectly with what the CEO, Andy Jassy, has been talking about, his whole vision of turning Amazon into the world's biggest startup. Think fast, think agile, constantly adapting.
But what does operating more leanly actually mean in practice? What does that look like on the ground? Well, the memo they sent to employees really broke it down into 3 key steps. First, they're removing layers of management. Second, they're trying to give individual employees more ownership. And third, they're trying to find new ways to be more efficient across the entire company.
But wait a minute, this isn't just some boring corporate restructuring story. There is a much bigger force at play here, a technology that is driving this whole transformation. And that technology is, you guessed it, artificial intelligence. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. The top brass at Amazon is literally comparing AI to the invention of the internet. That is a huge, huge statement. They're not just talking about a small update here. No, they're seeing a complete and total reshaping of the entire technological landscape. And if you look at the timeline here, you can see a really fascinating shift in how Amazon is talking about this. See, back in 2023, when they cut 27,000 jobs, the reason they gave was the worsening global economic outlook. It was all about the economy. But now in 2024, the reason for these 14,000 cuts is to get the company ready for the wide adoption of AI technology. It's all about AI. So you see the shift? This isn't a reaction to a problem anymore. It's a proactive strategy, a deliberate move towards the future. And the CEO, Andy Jassy, he's been surprisingly blunt about this whole thing. He's coming right out and saying it. We're going to need fewer people doing some jobs and more people doing other kinds of jobs. I mean, that is about as clear a signal as you can get that, yes, technology is absolutely going to replace certain human roles at Amazon. Okay, so all of this, it brings us to a much, much bigger question, right? Is what we're seeing inside Amazon just, an Amazon story? Or is it a sneak peek of what's coming for the rest of us, for the entire workforce?
And this is where the debate gets really interesting. On one side, you have Amazon's vision. Andy Jassy talks about billions of AI agents that will completely change how we all work and live. But then on the other side, you have a lot of AI experts who are kind of pumping the brakes. They're saying, hold on, the research just doesn't back up these fears of mass job replacement, at least not yet. So you've got these two completely different, almost opposing views of what's just around the corner.
There's a term that one analyst used to describe this moment, and I think it's perfect. He called it a tipping point. You know what that is, right? It's that critical moment, that point of no return, where a small change triggers something massive, something that's often unstoppable.
Well, Neil Saunders, he's the managing director of Global Data, and he thinks this is that moment. He argues that what we're seeing is a major shift away from prioritizing what he calls human capital, people, their skills, their knowledge, and towards prioritizing technological infrastructure instead. Basically, it's the point where betting on technology starts to become more important than betting on people. And so that really leaves us with the big question here. And let's be clear, this isn't just about Amazon anymore. This is about the future of work for, well, all of us. So, are we there? Are we at that tipping point? Are we really shifting from an economy powered by human beings to one powered by technology? That's the question that this whole situation leaves us thinking about.